Welcome to the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast.
My name is Jen Clarke.
And I'm Elke Clarke. We are a mother-daughter team who started our Zazzle e-commerce businesses over 10 years ago and have sold $15 million and counting of products on Zazzle with our designs on them.
We had so many people asking us how we did this, so we created our signature course, the Profit by Design Academy, which teaches our 5 strategies for success on Zazzle.
When we aren't helping creative entrepreneurs just like you create profitable e-commerce businesses, we love cooking food from places all over the world that we've traveled to, jet setting to our next dream destination, spending quality time with our close friends and family, or having fun creating our next bestsellers in our Zazzle businesses.
In this podcast, we share actionable steps you, the creative, can take to make money in your e-commerce business on Zazzle. Each episode will take you one step closer to achieving freedom with your time, location, and finances.
We believe that you can have anything you dream of, as long as you work smarter, not harder. And we're here to give you the tools you need to make your dreams happen. Let's get started. Hey there, it's Elke.
And Jen. And in this episode of the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast, we are talking about 6-figure mindset shifts for Zazzle creatives.
This is so important, and it's actually one of our 5 strategies. You have to have the right mindset in order to run your business properly, and especially if you want to run your business so that it's a 6-figure take-home business. That means that if you set your royalty at 10%, then you are selling $1 million worth of product every single year. So having that said that, now let's shift into the shifts and make sure that you understand what you need to do to shift into that 100K mindset so that you can start to see that potential and start to take home that paycheck. So we're going to talk about 3 key mindset shifts that you must take in order for you to start to get into that position where you're earning $100,000 and that you accept that and that you make it possible, because all of your actions that you take are determined by what your mindset is, how your mindset is. And if your mindset isn't in alignment with the goal that you want to achieve, which is $100,000 a year, then you're not going to actually get there. Even if you have access to strategies and to plans and to roadmaps and even our help, because some of our students, even though they have access to us, don't get to that goal. Why is that? It's because it has to do with your mindset, with their mindsets. And so why not take advantage of this podcast to get thinking about what it is that's stopping you with your mindset that you need to alter and shift to get into that frame of mind that says, yep, $100,000 is possible for me and it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So we've got 3. First, we're just going to list them. We're going to talk about that you have to shift and think that it is possible for you. The second is that you have to give yourself permission to be able to earn that amount of money. And the third is that your mindset has to switch so that you understand that the actions that you're taking now resulting in a lower income are not the actions that are going to get you to the higher income that you want. So let's start with it's possible.
First of all, some Zazzle designers think that it's not possible to hit the higher amounts of income, such as $100,000 a year. They think that when they first start on Zazzle, they see making money on Zazzle is easy, making $100 or even a couple $1,000s, but hundreds of thousands of dollars seems unattainable or unreachable. And that's one of the biggest mindset shifts that you have to take in the beginning, is actually understanding that it is possible and those sales are possible for your Zazzle business. You can own $1 million business that makes millions of dollars of sales and has the earnings potential for $100,000 a year for your Zazzle business. It is possible.
Yeah, because we've done that. So the thing that's important is to understand that we also were where you are when we first started, we made $90 in our first year, then I made 2,300 in my second year. And I actually thought that was a lot of money for the Zazzle platform.
Yeah.
And so this is the key here. So I kind of had this mindset that was a lot of money for what I was able to do on Zazzle. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a lot of money because I wanted to make more than that. I actually wished and dreamed that I could make $100,000 because I wanted to quit my day job. But the fact that I had made 2,300 on Zazzle at that point in time made me think that that was a lot of money for that platform or for that business, and all of that together stopped me from thinking that I could make more. Mm-hmm. I wanted to make more, but I somehow had this picture of me not making more than a couple of $1,000s on Zazzle, and that I should be happy or satisfied with that. And then I thought, no, actually, I really like Zazzle, and why can't I make more money on Zazzle? So I was making the mindset shift slowly on my own, and I realized afterwards, I thought, okay, well, I'm going to aim for at least 5 figures. But see, even that was a mindset shift that I made only partially, because I realized I only said 5 figures, which is anywhere from 10,000 to 99,999. And because of that, I truly just made, I'm going to look at my numbers, $37,000 in my third year. And then in the next year, I made $50,000, and then I made $67,000. So every year I got higher, but I always thought it was a lot of money. And I thought I needed to take those steps gradually, because like that was already a lot of money for me. All of a sudden to make $30,000 on a platform that it seemed like magic that I was making money on Zazzle. And that's how, like, I'm not working that, like, I'm working hard, but I'm not doing the traditional job, and I'm not using traditional methods to make money. And so my mind was still not in line with online business, Zazzle platform, $100,000. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until I reached my 6th year on Zazzle that I made $100,000. And that's also, though, when I realized it could be possible for me. It took me that long. I'm really hoping that you guys really understand that you could do this much quicker if you just took that mindset shift now rather than 6 years like I took.
Mm-hmm. No, I definitely had the same mindset problem, and I made that mindset shift. And still to this day, some of our students and a lot of Zazzle designers put like a cap or like an earning ceiling on Zazzle. And I don't know why, because they think earning $100 or hundreds of dollars seems like a lot, even though in true real life, it's not that much money. There are so many more possibilities and capabilities for you to earn a higher amount of money, which in this podcast, we're talking about $100,000, which is totally doable.
Yeah. Well, and we can't make any income claim statements, obviously, but it's doable because we've done it, and it's doable because our students have done it. And the really important part is, are you interested in doing it? Yeah. And you'll have to take all of the steps, all of the strategies that we teach in the Profit by Design Academy and in all of our training and coaching, because those are the strategies that got us to those $100,000 years, because we had all of those 5 strategies together. We had 4 strategies that we were implementing really well, but it wasn't until we aligned with our goals and our mindset, which is strategy number 4, that we really saw the results, and we were consistent with our earnings and high earnings. So this is really, really important. And how can you make this shift to say that it's possible for you? Hopefully our story resonates with you, so that you can at least say, okay, well, Elke and Jen did it. And so I could do it as well. If that's all it takes, awesome. If you need more proof and things that you need to feel comfortable with, maybe combining it with the second mindset shift will help you, because they all sort of come falling in together at the end when you realize one thing is you've broken the barrier through, then you can break through that barrier of any of the other 3 mindset shifts that we really want you to take. So giving yourself permission to earn that amount of money is also crucial. And you think, well, why are you telling us this? Because I want to make that money. I want to make that much money. Why do I need permission? I'm telling you right now, I want to make that much money. But in our own minds and how we've been brought up, and how we, like in our environment, our family, our friends, where we are placed in, our situation in our community and anything to do with outside external influences will give you feedback. And that feedback could be subconscious even, that maybe this isn't a real job, or you must be doing something wrong, right? You might think that, or people might be telling you inadvertently or even subliminally, just with their actions and how they sort of react, that they don't think that this is a trustworthy or valid or loyal or responsible or whatever you want to call the adjective way of making money. And so therefore you take that energy on and you feel like it's not really truly okay, right? You're not allowed permission to fulfill or explore this fully. And that even if you do make that money, that people still think you didn't make it honestly, or that it's not the way that people are supposed to be making money. And so there's a lot of work that has to be done mindset-wise to accept that it is a possibility for you in terms of the way of you making money, but also that you have the permission to do so. And it is something that you have to actually ask yourself. You have to say, am I being influenced by all these other people? And is that okay for me to do? Or should I be listening to my own heart and to my own gut and intuition, and is this really aligned with what it is that I want? And once you say yes, that it's aligned with what you want and how you want to make money, then you're basically giving yourself permission to do this, to make money on Zazzle, but you're also opening up the doors to making the amount of money that you need to make in order to live. And that's when you start to realize you're giving yourself permission to not only use Zazzle as a way to make money, but as a way to make enough money, which is probably around $100,000, so that you can live comfortably and do the things you really want to do. Because we're not just subsisting here. We want you to have an income that you not only pay the basics, like the things you need in order to live and survive and eat and live in a house and pay the bills. But we want you to also enjoy life and do things that really mean a lot to you, because money is a tool. Money is not the end goal. Money is the way that you can achieve certain things that you've always had on your mind, like travel the world, give back to charity, pay for someone's, like your kid's college, or pay off your house. Those things are ways that you can take that money and do something, which will then result in a feeling, a way of being in life that is more important. That's the why. And partly what you're giving yourself permission for is to actually make those dreams that you have a reality.
Have you heard about our newest program, the Z Supercharger, yet?
Are you a new or current Zazzle designer who's overwhelmed with what to do, frustrated with lack of sales, uncertain about what works, feeling icky about selling, and unsure how you can generate consistent sales in your Zazzle business?
The Z Supercharger is a brand new, never-before-offered way for you to receive consistent critiques from Zazzle experts on your designs, titles and tags, store categories, and collections. Increase your power to get to consistent 5K months faster on Zazzle with the Z Supercharger, which is specifically created to help you improve your design, SEO, and marketing skills.
This critiqued-based program is perfect for you if you want to receive feedback from us, Jen and Elke Clarke, on your designs, titles and tags, store categories, and collections as you populate your Zazzle store to increase your power to get to consistent 5K months.
Head over to the show notes to grab the link, and we'll see you in the Z Supercharger. Now let's get back to the show.
So many of us start out and say, because we're trained this way, that you work hard and maybe you'll end up at the end of your life with what you dream of. You know how when you're in grade school and the teacher says, write down what your life will look like if all your dreams are met. And then the first thing that they do is they go, well, that's not possible. Right? So from early on, you haven't been given permission. And so now you have to give yourself permission. We'll start by giving you permission. But now you have to also agree and accept that. that you have the permission to go and explore and follow your dreams, reach the highest heights that you want to reach, and go for it. And if Zazzle is the way that you're going to get there, awesome, because then you're already halfway there. You already know where you can get help, and you know that other people have done it. So there's so much that's already helping you feel like this is the right thing to get permission to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the last one is all about framing your mind in a way that you can understand that certain actions will only get you so far.
Mm-hmm.
So far, your mindset thinks that you're going to make a lot of money if you're on Zazzle already and you're not making a lot of money, but you're working super, super hard and you're doing as many things either through our courses or just from our free training. And you think, okay, I'm not getting where I need to go. Like you're maybe getting some results and success, but you're not getting $100,000 success. Then partly the reason is because you're believing that you're going to reach a certain goal with a certain set of actions. Whereas those actions are only getting you the current results. So now you have to reframe it and say, that action is getting me this result. What action do I need to take, or actions do I need to take to get me to the $100,000 a year result? And that's a huge mindset shift, because we always feel like we're already working hard and we're doing the best and we have the best intentions, but we don't actually understand that there are different actions that need to be taken in order to get to a different result, which in this case is the $100,000 that we're aiming for.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And you've had that experience, right? Because you think, I'm doing it all right. Why am I not getting that? So we end up frustrated. We end up getting like, I'm going to quit Zazzle. It's not working. All that stuff.
Well, it's definitely a part to it where you think that you're doing it right, or you're so concentrated on making it work, and you actually don't want to be open to the possibilities that there's a different way that will actually be better. And it's not saying that you're being stubborn or anything. It's just the fact that you're kind of like a horse with blinders on, where you think that this is the way that it's going to work for you, and that you need to make it work the way that you're doing it because you're the one who has to make it work. And maybe that also stems from the other mindset shifts that you have to make, that it's not possible, or that you can't do it, or that you need to give yourself permission. And maybe you're trying so hard to make something work because you've been influenced by other factors, and that you don't actually want to open up yourself to the possibility that there might be a different way that things can work better for you.
I know it sounds a little bit twisted, but really, like, very, very honestly and for real, you can be deciding on what actions you're taking based on the fact that the other two mindset shifts that we talked about are not there yet.
Yeah.
So you truly and honestly believe that the actions that you're taking will get you there. But then what you have to do is step back and say, okay, the other things that are stopping me from going forward, like, is it possible? And I have to give myself permission. That in itself is creating a set of thoughts that you are doing what's necessary, and you're not allowing yourself to step back and say, but I'm already doing all this stuff and I'm only getting to this result. So the switch has to be, I need to do new actions in order for me to get the new result.
Yeah. And also, I think a lot of...
It has to do with self-sabotage, right?
Well, self-sabotage, but then also having the very traditional ways of working. Like if someone... or if you think that you need to work very, very hard, or work a certain amount of hours to earn a certain amount of money, coming from the traditional workspace and office corporate jobs, then you think that you need to put in 9 hours a day or 8 hours a day and work really hard and get those certain things done, and then you will get paid a certain amount. And that's because you are earning a salary job. Or if you've been told from when you were little that you need to become something extraordinary to make a certain amount of money. Like you have to be a lawyer, you have to be a doctor, you have to be a professor, you have to have those certain standards to make that amount of money or to actually become something in life. And it's weird because it's deep down, and it's probably not
it's
actually
a tough subject to talk about, really.
It's probably not what you actually think on the outside or that you consciously think, but there are some subconscious factors that are always influencing you. And so the first rule out of all of our strategies and all of our, like, what our vision is for our students and everyone who's come into our community to know that when they work smarter and not harder, that's where they get the results, because they are able to actually achieve their dream life working the way that they are working smarter rather than harder. Because a lot of Zazzle designers work very hard and they're not seeing the results that they're getting. And so that's where it stems from the last mindset shift, where you need to actually be open to the possibilities that there's probably an easier and better way for you to go about the way that you're doing things so that you can get the results that you want, and actually be open to the possibility of earning the $100,000 a year, which you do want to earn, no?
Oh, we definitely want to get you there. Yeah. So this is the really important part, because Jen just like nailed it, because thinking that you're doing the actions that are required is the mindset shift. So then open yourself up to the possibilities that different actions, something that's more effective, you're working smarter, not harder, for example, you're choosing different actions that are going to get you closer and quicker to the goal of having $100,000 come in. That's really, really the key. Mm-hmm. But you can't make those decisions unless you handle the first and the second mindset shift. And that's unfortunately like a package. You have to do all three in order to even get started on allowing yourself this new way of doing things. And it affects everything. It affects your productivity. It affects your decision making. It affects the way you think that your outcome will be. And therefore, again, you'll make decisions based on that. If you don't feel that you will get to that outcome, then you're going to make decisions that are less than ideal to actually achieve the goal that you want to have in terms of the 6 figures. And this is all so tied in together that it's hard not to break it apart. But it's the mindset of thinking it's possible, giving yourself permission, and being open to the fact that what you're doing now is actually not going to get you where you want to go. You have to change your actions, and those actions come through understanding that your mindset has to switch so that you're shifting to any action that is going to allow that 6 figures to come to you in terms of your Zazzle sales.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So to recap, the 3 6-figure mindset shifts that Zazzle creatives need to make are to understand that it is possible to make money and make $100,000 online on Zazzle, to give yourself permission or to give the designer permission to actually make that money, and to be open to the possibilities that there are other possibilities of making the money and taking action steps and implementing strategies into your business that will get you to earning $100,000 a month and to the 6 figures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's very, very important that you understand that this is not an income claim statement. This is something that happens not only on a Zazzle marketplace in your Zazzle business, but it happens with everything. So all we've done is set the parameter of 6 figures and Zazzle business. But you can take all of the teachings that we just gave you about mindset, and you can apply it to anything that you've already had a big goal around. Mm-hmm. And so it's not something new. It's not rocket science, but it's so difficult to allow yourself to hear that. And so we want you to hear it today. We want you to think about it. And hopefully, like, if you're in, like, we would love to hear what has happened after you've given this some thought and how you've progressed, because we want you to succeed. And this is usually what's stopping our students. And once they tackle this, and when they start to realize that this is what's holding them back, then they just let go of these things that are burdening them. And all of a sudden, the results just come because they've done all the work except for the mindset part. Mm-hmm. And so here you are with 3 mindset shifts that can help you get started so that you have the mindset of $100,000 Zazzle creative.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.
See you. Thank you so much for listening to The Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur with Jen and Elke Clarke.
We hope this episode has given you actionable steps to start and scale your Zazzle business so that you can have the passive online income to have location and time freedom to live your dream life.
If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a minute to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Each review helps us reach more creative entrepreneurs like you working to create a profitable e-commerce business.
And don't forget to take a screenshot and share it on your Instagram stories and tag us at Miss Jen Clarke and at Elke Clarke. We'd love to hear your biggest takeaways from today's episode. See you back here next week.